Hello everyone, here's your weather hazard briefing for Saturday, September 7th. It will be dry across the region today, but there will be some monsoon moisture moving in, and on the leading edge of that, maybe a couple of localized wind gusts over 20 miles per hour, some virgus, some sprinkles, and moisture continues to increase for tomorrow. Showers with a few thunderstorms, and we'll explain why we're expecting a little bit less thunderstorm activity than we might typically see with this kind of system and wave coming through. We get a break. The next system arrives midweek. And a lot of folks are saying, well, we're getting to that time of year in the fire weather world. Is this going to be a season ender? No, I think this will be a season slower event. Nothing that's going to bring fire season to a crashing halt in our area and quite a bit of the western United States. Satellite shows that low spinning off the coast so far, and the flash, as you see, that's where we do have a little bit of lightning. We should not see thunderstorms today across the area, just simply because it's going to take a little bit for that low to get close enough to us later tonight and tomorrow to bring that moisture in. And like I said, not much in the way of the thunderstorm activity is expected for us anyway. Now, for today, we continue with some air quality issues up in the Central Mountains, especially up near the Wapiti Fire and also up into Limhi County, where we do have some pretty big ongoing fires putting out a lot of smoke. Otherwise, showers and thunderstorms returning late tonight and tomorrow. The best chance of thunderstorms will be over the Central Mountains. We may, and I stress may, with capital letters flashing, everything else, may see a lightning strike or two elsewhere. We don't have it in the forecast in those other places, though, at this point. We do have some isolated morning showers Monday. A little bit of an increase Tuesday, but we've got a low that's going to come in. It's going to be a slow-moving low, but it's not going to bring a lot of moisture, it looks like, at this point. Just some cooler conditions headed our direction. So looking, first of all, let's take a look at where we're going to have precipitation or those showers developing for tomorrow across the area. We'll start this at 6 p.m. this evening. And far out west, this is basically if you're looking at radar on our website or your favorite mobile app, you'll notice that maybe a little bit of moisture falling. And like I said, a lot of this initially is not going to be moisture reaching the ground. It's that stuff you see evaporating before it hits the ground. Usually get a sprinkler or two, maybe a localized wind gust with that kind of thing. This goes into tonight, and that moisture will continue to increase during the day tomorrow over the Central Mountains first, and that's mainly where the bulk of anything is going to form, is in the Central Mountains. A little less chance further to the south and to the east, but that is there. We get late in the day. Now, we talked about isolated thunderstorm potential versus scattered, and why it's going to be over the Central Mountains. It's going to be pretty cloudy through most of the day tomorrow, and on the back edge of this and closer to where the upper level system itself is moving through, there's that just slightly enough instability potential there for isolated thunderstorms over the Central Mountains. That'll be for tomorrow, and then we'll see that continue to swing out of the area going into tomorrow night. By sunrise Monday, maybe a few showers east of I-15, but we should be done with this particular wave. Let's also take a look at the smoke, where it's going, with this flow switching to a south to southwest flow. That's pushing a lot of the smoke to our north and northeast, spreading the wealth up into portions of southwest Montana. And this trend continues. Some of that will wrap back around into eastern Idaho, either from the north or a little bit of a push coming up the Snake Plain once we see that flow really kicking in from the south. And you can see where a lot of the smoke is going to be coming directly from the Wapiti Fire. The fires over towards Cascade, McCall, Council, up across the mountains west of Salmon into southwest Montana. Even the fires over in western Wyoming putting out a lot of smoke. So we go into tonight, we'll see some of that smoke again settling into the valleys, even with this moisture coming in. Still some inversion conditions setting up. Then we go into tomorrow, and you'll notice the smoke really starting to push to the north and to the east. And then we're going to see on the back side of this, where we get a little bit of clearing late in the day, this is a pretty good signature that these fires will start to increase again in intensity late in the afternoon on the back side of this system coming through. So looking at the rest of the forecast, for this afternoon, temperatures still above average over our area, and a few spots hitting the low 90s. Elsewhere, 70s and 80s. Humidity values down into the low to mid-teens area wide, maybe just a skosh higher over into the eastern highlands and into western Wyoming. For overnight humidity, we're going to have one more night of really poor recovery in the mountains. In some areas, we're talking 15 to 25% recovery, even not a ton of recovery over the Snake Plain, especially along the Snake River where those humidity values would be quite a bit higher. And some of those more sheltered valleys, good example, Salmon, also over into Wyoming, some of those valleys will actually be under the inversion, and that moisture and the cold air sinking in will trap the humidity in there. But once we get within the inversion layer or above it, the humidity quickly dries out, and it will be a little bit warmer for tonight. Going into Sunday, we knock it back a couple degrees here and there. The humidity values come up. So what does that mean? What moisture falls with this system? It's not going to be very much. If you look at the threshold of 1/10 of an inch of rain or more, over the central mountains, maybe 20% at best. Elsewhere, it's basically a goose egg for any measurable precipitation, or at least that 1/10 of an inch. Anything measurable is over a trace, so 100th and over is measurable precipitation. A little bit different threshold looking at that. It'll be just slightly breezy tomorrow. Only 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts across the board, and that's outside of thunderstorms. The risk for gusts over 30 with storms is very low. It's below 10% at this particular point. And again, because it's not that unstable, we don't have the potential to get some good storms and some pretty good downburst winds with those storms for tomorrow. We're going to skip ahead to Wednesday. And what you're noticing here is, look at those temperatures dropping back in the 60s and 70s, humidity values coming up. You knock another 10 or 15 degrees off the temperatures, that's what it's going to look like on Thursday across the area. So we talked about cooler conditions, the humidity coming up across the area. So basically the potential is there for a 1/2 of an inch in 3 days. That's not bad, but again, we'd want to see 1 to 2 to 3 inches of precipitation total, even snow in the higher elevations, to really start talking about an event that's really going to bring a quick end to fire weather season. That's nothing we're going to look like at this point, just cooler and wet conditions for the middle part of the week. Have a great Saturday, and if you're heading out, do stay safe out there, everyone.